Hi everybody, it's Gemma, welcome back to Pampered Wolf. As you can see, I am starting this video with a completely naked face today and I look rather peaky, and that is because I had a bit of a nightmare regulating Seth's blood sugar last night. It was an impossible task and I've had very little sleep. Patience is slightly on edge today, so the kids are going out with their mama to go and have a McDonald's for lunch, and I'm going to crack on with working so that I am not constantly snapping at them all day, because it is not their fault that I am tired. Anyway, we're going to keep it simple today because I am not capable of doing anything remotely complicated. See, couldn't even think of the word complicated. Oh dear, this is not going to go well today. We are going to be doing a full face of Revlon today. Keep it really simple, my brain is mush. Let's crack on with it. I'm going to do eyeshadow first. And the eyeshadows that I've chosen today are actually the cream eyeshadows from Revlon. I've gone for two shades. One's creme brulee and one is chocolate. These are £6.99 in the UK, $7.99, I should have said, in the US. So there are 18 shades in these particular colours. There weren't, when I was picking them, I didn't have a really broad spectrum of shades to choose from. I think there were about 5, so I've gone for the ones that just jumped out at me the most. I'm going to go straight into the shade chocolate, if I can get this open, which I can't. Oh dear, I'm so weak. Okay, this is embarrassing. Is there any plastic on it? No. Just me. Ah, there we go. Okay, so it looks like this in the tub. I'm gonna go straight into the chocolate shade and just dab that on with my finger and just pop it on the outer portion of my eye. It's quite easy to blend, so that's quite nice, but they do stick in place. Just going to take a little bit on the end of a brush and the tiniest amount just to see if you can put it on with a brush. And you can actually, that's a lot more precise way of applying it. Okay, so I've done the other eye. It's gone a little bit patchy, if I'm being completely honest. You have to be quite quick with the product, otherwise it locks in place. So you do need to bear that in mind if you're going to buy any of these products. I do think it would probably be nicer if I got a lighter shade and maybe just put it on the lid and just blended it out with my finger a little bit. Like the creme brulee shade, which I'm going to use now. And by the way, the end of my finger is completely stained with this product. Really hoping this is going to come off by the end of the day, but I have tried. It's not coming off. Anyway, let's just going to dip this in the shade creme brulee, which is the most beautiful goldy champagne sort of colour. And I'm just going to pop that on the lid. Wow. Now this is a nice colour. The chocolate was a matte shadow. And this is just stunning. Okay, so I'm going to wait until that dries a little bit on my eyelids before I go in with any liner, mascara, finish off the bottom lash line. So we're going to go straight into the face. This is what a lot of you have been waiting for. This is the brand new Revlon Candid PhotoReady Foundation. Now this comes in 31 shades online, but if you are in the UK, and I have no idea if this is the same in the US, but if you are in the UK and you go into a store like Superdrug or a Boots, you will find only between 8 and 10 shades available to test out. So I have no idea whether this is going to be the correct shade for me. It's the nearest match and it's in the shade 120, which is buff. Now this says that this is medium buildable coverage. It's a natural finish. It's got antioxidants in here, which will fight off all the free radicals in the air. So it's anti-pollution. And it also protects against any blue light. This has no oils in here, it's got no phthalates in here, it's got no synthetic dyes in here, and most importantly, it has no perfumes, so result. And also, it's got a pump. It's got a pump, people, and you all know how I like a little pump. Okay. moving on. Let's get some of this on my face. Okay, so again, I'm going to be using my Revolution Pro 230 brush. It's so lovely. It's really dense. It's got a rounded head on it. I would prefer that it was flat, but it does a really nice job. Let's get a little bit on the back of my hand, see what sort of consistency this is. It's a thick, creamy consistency. It's definitely not mousse-like. It's more of a liquid / cream. I'm going to put 2 pumps on the back of my hand. Highly likely that I'm not going to use that amount on my face. So let's just go in. It's blending out really nice. It's covering up redness. Do have a little bit of redness on my cheek area. So that's quite good coverage. This is really drying down quite quickly. And it does say that it's a natural finish, but I think this looks rather matte. Okay, so it has started to settle a little bit in my smile lines. It's made my chin area around here look a little bit dry. I think that's because it looks very matte around here. And yet, even though it's very matte, it's emphasized the pores on my cheeks and in between my brows. Now, on my forehead, it doesn't look as matte. It actually looks a lot more natural. It's got a little bit of a sheen on there. I'm not quite sure what is happening to this foundation today, but on first impressions, it isn't my favorite foundation that I've worn recently. Okay, so let's move on to covering up those dark under eye circles. Now, usually at this point, as you know, my favorite product is the MAC Prep and Prime in the shade Bright Forecast. And I pop a little bit on the back of my hand. Why I'm doing this now when this is not a MAC full face of will become clear in just a second. So Revlon do something very, very similar, which is called the Revlon PhotoReady Eye Primer Plus, not Plus Brightener. So just see if I can get some of that up. Right, it's out, finally. Okay, so let me show you these. Now, both are quite peachy shades. The top one is the MAC Prep and Prime, which also has a little bit of a highlighter in there as well. And the bottom one is by Revlon, which is the one I'm going to be using today. It's paler in peachy shade and it's got a lot more highlighter in there. You'll be able to use this on its own. I'm not going to use this on its own today. I'm going to use this with a concealer over the top, but I'm hoping it will work just as well as my MAC Prep and Prime. This is £9.99 in the UK, $10.99 in the US. So let's just pop a bit of a dab under there. The thing that I really like about this is the consistency is really liquidy, really liquidy. You do have to add quite a lot of it, but it's a bit like a moisturizer or serum. It sinks into the skin really nicely. If I just wanted to go out of the house wearing this, because it's so illuminating and reflecting, I could probably get away with just this on a no makeup day. So I do quite like that, and as you can see in lighting, it does reflect the light back so that you can't see the under eye circle as much. I don't like it as much as my MAC Prep and Prime, but I think it does a really good job, and for half the price, it's worth having a look at. So let's move on to concealer. I really wanted to get the Candid concealer so that I had a concealer and a foundation that both matched each other perfectly. But there are only 4 shades in the Candid concealer and they are poor, really poor. The closest match for me was called Banana and it really did look like a banana, and I thought I cannot have that underneath my eyes. I will look ridiculous. So I've had to go for the Revlon Colourstay concealer. This is just as poor, but the shades slightly are a little more varied. This one matches my skin tone a little bit better, although it's not a great match for me. There are only 4 shades in this as well, so again, very, very poor. This is in the shade 015, which is light pale. It's £6.99 in the UK, $10.99 in the US. I'm just going to pop this on the back of my hand. By the way, if I didn't tell you how much the foundation was, I apologise, you know, I'm rather sleepy. This is £8.99 in the UK, $10.99 in the US, so it's actually very reasonably priced, very reasonably priced. Okay, so that has gone on really, really beautifully. It's blended out really nicely. It's sitting on the skin really nicely as well. I'm really happy with that. It doesn't feel heavy underneath the eyes. I'm just going to set that in place using the tiniest bit of powder, which isn't Revlon, by the way. Okay, so let's move on to eyebrows because I definitely want some eyebrows on my face by the end of this video. The product that I've gone for is the Revlon Colourstay Brow Pencil. This has a little spoolie on the end, which I always think is really useful. And on the other end, I'm not quite sure what I think about this retractable tip, but it's quite rounded and angular. We're going to see how this goes on today. Anyway, I think this comes in 4 different shades and I've gone for the colour dark brown, which may surprise quite a few of you as I don't have dark brown eyebrows. But the other shade, which was close to mine, which is soft brown, was far too reddy orangey for me. So I've gone for something with more of a cool tone. And I'm hoping this isn't going to be a super soft product and I'm going to be able to put this on quite lightly. But time will tell. Let's have a look. I'm gonna try and use this so lightly with such a light hand so I don't look like I've got black eyebrows by the end of it. So I'm really pleased that we've got a spoolie on the end of this one because I'm going to be able to soften off the product with the spoolie at the end. Okay, so let's just glide over the fact that this is too dark for me. That is my fault, completely my fault. This is like trying to draw your brows on in pencil format with a pomade consistency. It's so super creamy. It can get a little bit messy. The product itself is really nice though. It's really easy to blend out with the little spoolie. It's just a little bit cumbersome, a little bit like trying to be precise and draw within the lines using a Crayola crayon. Slightly difficult. Okay, so let's finish off the eyes. I'm gonna do my bottom lash line first. I'm gonna go straight in with a small pencil. This is the 230 Luxe pencil brush from Zoeva. I'm gonna go straight into the lightest color, which was Crème Brulee 705. And I'm just gonna place a little bit of that on the bottom lash line. Such a nice colour. Then I'm going to go straight into chocolate and just do the outer third just to blend that in with the top lid. Okay, so for liner on the top lash, and probably I'm going to do a little bit of tight lining with this as well. I'm going to use the brand new product from Revlon, which is their So Fierce Vinyl Eyeliner. Now, if you have this in the US, it's probably called something else because I couldn't find out a price for this in the US. Very unusual that we get something from Revlon that you already haven't had. So if somebody could update us in the comment section, then please do so. Just let us know what this is called and how much this is. That would be great. But this is £6.99 in the UK. It comes in 6 different shades. This is the shade 865, which is called Powerful Plum. So I'm just going to go on the top lash. This product is just like the eyebrow pencil consistency. It is super soft, more like a kajal than an actual kohl liner. And the pigment really does stand out. It might not stand out on camera, but I hope it does. This is lovely. Just gonna curl my lashes. So after curling my lashes, most of my eyeliner came off on the back of my eyelash curler, so I've had to apply a little bit more of that. That's my fault, I didn't give it time to dry, but it is such a creamy consistency that may happen anyway, even if you leave it for a little bit longer. The mascara I'm going to be using today is called Volumazing. This is brand new in the UK. It's £6.99 in the UK, $8.99 in the US. It's available in regular or waterproof, and it has quite a fluffy wand applicator. It's quite a large wand. That is the last of the innuendos today, I do promise. So at the moment my lashes obviously don't need any more length because I've been using the Revitalash eyelash serum and they are super long. So most mascaras make my lashes look nice. It just all depends on the volume, which is why I've picked this particular product. Not only was it brand new, but I like anything that gives my lashes a little bit more girth. See, I promised, didn't I? I promised. I love that word, girth. Sorry, I'm being really immature now. This is what happens when I'm tired. Immature Gemma comes out. Sorry. Okay, I quite like that. It's not the best mascara I've ever used, but it's definitely not the worst mascara I've ever used. It's gone on really nicely. It hasn't gone clumpy. It's definitely volumized my lashes a little bit. Not as much as I would have liked. Definitely not as much as the Charlotte Tilbury Legendary Lashes Volume 2 mascara does. But this is a fraction of the price. So yeah, I quite like that. I would probably use that again. Okay, so let's move on to bronzer and actually get some dimension back in my face because I look quite flat at the moment. The bronzer that I found, this was the only bronzer on the shelf in the Revlon section of the store yesterday, and it's in the shade 024, which is Bronze Beauty. Now, I cannot find this anywhere in the US. In fact, I cannot find a bronzer by Revlon in the US either. If I'm completely overlooking something, I'm not looking correctly, please do update the rest of the Pampered Wolf pack in the comment section below, just where you can actually find a bronzer by Revlon and also what shades they're available and the cost of them. But this is the only bronzer that I found in the UK. This is £7.99 and it's in the shade Bronze Beauty, which is 024. And if there had been 10 different shades to actually choose from, this is probably the shade that I would have gone for. It's got a little application brush here, which I won't be using, but this one is quite a neutral bronzer, which I really like. I'm going to use my 106 powder brush from Zoeva and just see how much pigment this has got on it. Now I'm not using this as a contour, just using this as a bronzer just to give myself a little bit of colour back in my face. This is another one of those bronzers that looks like it's going to be easy to build. You can be quite messy with this, get quite a bit of product on, and it won't show you up, which I like. Definitely acceptable for fair-toned skins, which is unusual for drugstore. Okay, so moving on to blush. Blush comes in 3 different colours in the US and in the UK for Revlon. This is in the colour 004, which is Rosy Rendezvous. £7.99 in the UK, $10.99 in the US. This one is a matte blush, which is my preference. Also comes with a little brush applicator thing, which if this is all I had, I would probably use my fingers, to be fair, if I was out and about. So that's actually quite nice. It's quite a powdery consistency, quite powdery, but the pigment is there. Very pretty, rosy, English rose shade. Okay, moving on to lips, I'm going to be using the Kiss Cushion lip tints. These are available in 10 different shades in both the US and the UK. But I've got 3 of them to choose from today. These are £7.99 in the UK, $9.99 in the US. I think I'm gonna go for the pinky shade because I've gone for quite a pinky blush today. This is in the shade 220. That's a little bit too paley pink even for me, so I'm gonna go for the shade 240, which is Berry Lit. Now that is a bright lip, but it feels really nourishing, really hydrating, really moisturizing. You can smell the cocoa butter in here. I think that's what I can smell, so it should be really nourishing on the lips, and the tint should last for a really long time without drying the lips out. So I will be using this again, maybe not in this shade, maybe I'll stick to my more neutral shade. This is the shade 210 in Pretty Kiss. It's much more my thing, but I do like this and I am gonna wear it throughout the day. So this is the finished look for today. I'm really happy with how today's gone. This is not normal. There is not one product in here that is awful. And that does not normally happen to me. So I'm really, really happy with how today's gone, because to be quite honest, I don't think I would have coped with a bad product today. It would have just tipped me over the edge, it really would. Let me just show you the foundation in natural lighting while I talk about all the other products, because the foundation was the only thing that I wasn't particularly happy with when I first put it on. And actually, as my natural oils have been coming through, it looks really nice, really, really natural. There is quite a bit of luminosity to my skin. It does look like skin. It doesn't look heavy on my skin, and around my chin area, it still looks a little bit dry. I'm not gonna lie, it still looks a little bit dry, but I've got a feeling as my natural oils come through that throughout the day, this is gonna be one of those foundations that just looks better and better and better the more you wear it. The pores on my cheeks look a lot more airbrushed than they did when I first applied the foundation. So obviously as this has dried down, it's just airbrushed things a little bit and made my pores look a lot less evident than they did when I first applied the foundation. So I'll be wearing this all week, and I will also get my mum to try this out as well. So the concealer, I can take or leave the concealer. This isn't the best concealer that I've ever used, but it's definitely not the worst. It's creased a little bit underneath my eye, even though I set it in place, but it's nothing to write home about. It's a nice concealer. It doesn't feel drying underneath the eye, and I think that is really, really important where concealers go. So I would give this one another go. Now the eye primer and illuminator that I put on before I put the concealer on top, I really liked, and I would definitely use this on no makeup days or no makeup days at all, just so that I can conceal my under eye circle a little bit and just be out the door in seconds. It's a lovely consistency, it's really hydrating, it's very, very liquid and sinks into the skin beautifully. So this is one product that I will definitely be using again. The cream eyeshadows, completely honest with you, cream eyeshadows really aren't my thing. They're not something that I will reach for all the time. I much prefer a powder eyeshadow. However, these are great for anybody who cannot wear powder eyeshadows. If you find them really drying, if they make your skin look a little bit crepey on the eyelids, then these might be a good thing to try. You have to be very quick with them, otherwise they lock in place, but these will not move all day. So if you struggle with really watery eyes and you find that your eyeshadow doesn't stay on because you've got watery eyes, then definitely these will be worth a go for you. Also, check out my video on watery eyes. I will link it up here for you. Moving on to brows, I won't be using this again, but it's got no bearing on the product itself. The product itself is really nice. It's just the wrong colour for me, for one, and it's extremely soft. So if you like a really soft brow product, then this is definitely worth a go. The mascara, it's quite hydrating on the lashes. It doesn't make your lashes look like they're going to just break off straight away. I think some mascaras make your lashes look really, really brittle because they go so hard. This is not one of those mascaras. It's really nice, definitely worth a go if you're looking for a new mascara. It's not as volumizing as I would have liked, but the mascara that is my favorite is 3 times the price of this one. So really, you cannot complain. I like this. I will use this again. Bronzer and blush, I cannot complain about either of these products. I love the bronzer. The bronzer is probably one of my favorite drugstore bronzers that I've got in my drawer. It's really subtle, so you can make a mess and you will not notice on your face. This is suitable for a fair skin. If you've got a tanned complexion, you do not want to touch this because this will not show up on your skin. But for anybody who struggles to get a bronzer for fair skins, this is definitely worth a go. It's beautiful, it's really subtle, and it's buildable. Really, really like it. It's also one of those bronzers that's not too orange and too warm on your skin. Also really like the blush. It's a little bit powdery, but the pigment is there. So I will be using this again. And finally, the Kiss Cushion Lip Tints. I mean, these are a little bit more bright than I would usually go for, but I really like them. They feel nice on the lip, and this colour is not going anywhere. It is stuck without feeling really thick and clarty and drying. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you have, please do give it a big thumbs up. It always helps if you interact on this channel, interact with me, interact with the rest of the Pampered Wolf Pack. We are a collective, we are a pack. Share your knowledge if you feel like it is relevant. I love getting your tips and tricks on my channel, and I do try them out. I always read all your comments, and I love hearing what you're up to on a daily basis. So please put your comments in the comment section. Don't forget, I am also on Instagram. It's at Pampered Wolf, all lowercase, no spaces, if you want to follow me on there as well. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. There is a watermark in this corner. If you click on it, it will take you through to my homepage where you can subscribe. Hope to see you all again soon, everyone. Bye.